Kucherov gets out of the box, scores his first ever shorthanded goal to take the lead 4 points over McDavid in McDavid's barn. And then the craziest part was on the other end that started the whole breakout as Kuch was getting out of the box. Lilleberg's flattening McDavid. Like, remember, I told you, I've been taking notes on some of the best moments of the season. And there's been a lot of like really, really cool moments. And that's on the list. Like that was such an awesome play. And if you look back at it and say, when did that tide turn from McKinnon, McDavid to Kuch for that heart? Look at that one play.
We the Thunder, feel a roar. Tampa's team, we want more. From the rink to the crowd's loud sound, Coach Cooper's leading, we run this town.
Welcome to We, the Thunder. I am Robert Shooter. My friends call me Shooter, and I'm back with Thomas Schooley. Pretty sure I'm the only one that calls him the professor.
Ring the bell, school's back in. Break it down.
Wait, are you going to get too sentimental if we play the Stammer song? Are you going to break down and cry like some people on Twitter might?
No, that's my next game I'm going to.
That is. Stammer game's coming up. Had to wait all season for it. But yeah, Stammer is coming back to town. You and I back together.
Don't forget Perblex, too. Perblex is coming back, too.
Oh, yeah. We got it's been a couple weeks. You left me high and dry with Deandra last week, which is a tradition for us because
it is a tradition with us.
She comes on the show. One of us is always gone. So we kept that going with Deandra last week. Thanks again to Deandra for joining us. And then you and Tate the week before. So bad. Some of the worst shows that reviews we've ever got. Just kidding.
No, we had a show in between me and you together.
Did we?
Yeah, because you talked about how crappy me and Tate were, and then
that's true. I forgot about that one. That was the highest rated show.
Yeah.
No, it's just like that time of the season, right? Where we got a couple weeks left, and let's just
you start trouble. Yep, that's the time of year we're in.
Just get to the playoffs. Let's get to the playoffs. Everybody can cool off when we get to the playoffs. But yeah, tonight, plenty to talk about. The West Coast trip, great success. We've got last night's game, which was a wild game with the Wild in town. Another big win. Some crazy goals in that game. We had the breaking news today. And yes, we're going to talk about it on our Lightning podcast. Victor Hedman on a leave of absence. Look, I have a Hedman jersey on. I guess we were going to come on here and just talk shit about Hedman for an hour. Fuck. We'll get to that.
There you go, Michelle going troublemaker.
I'm the troublemaker. No, here's the thing. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to let people on Twitter talk shit. So usually I do avoid the trolls, actually. But no, once you start to put words in my or Thomas's mouth, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you're in trouble. So we'll cover it. We'll get there. So the other thing I want to talk about is all of a sudden, Kuch, is he a lock for MVP? Don't answer that. We'll get there. But all of a sudden last week, like that's all that I'm seeing online is this is the year for Kuch, and rightfully so. You aren't here when we're talking about it with Deandra, but we were recapping all those awesome stats that came up where he's getting compared to Lemieux, and all the stats that he's had in the limited number of games compared to McDavid. He's played less games than McDavid, but even just since January, right? What a run he's been on. And yeah, at this point, with how many weeks left in the season, he's going like this, where McDavid and McKinnon have kind of just kept pretty flat. So I noticed it last Thursday, with the Oilers late night game, and that's when I really noticed, like, all right, well, Spittin' Chicklets all of a sudden's talking about Kuch, and like, you know,
Best
going,
Russian. They're not saying MVP. They're saying the best Russian, that he may go down as the best Russian ever.
well, if you look at what they were talking about with points, you know, Ovi's a great player, and Ovi's a different type of player. He's a goal scorer, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna sneeze. Never mind. We'll edit that out. But if you look at the actual points, and we'll take a look at it in the offseason, but if you look at the actual points, because Kuch gets so many points and all those assists in there, as long as he keeps playing for a couple more years, he probably will
Yeah, he
pass
should
Ovechkin.
pass. If he continues this trend for another 4 years, I think is what the projection is. Because the belief is that this is Ovi's last season. So with that being, if this is truly Ovi's last season, which I think it was Tate and I who debated that I just don't see. Ovi seems to be one of those people that likes the fanfare, like Fleury did, where they would do their tour. You know what I mean? Their goodbye tour. So I would think it would be one more year with the Capitals and he retires. Um, but if this is truly his last year, then uh, I think 4 years and Kuch could pass him if he keeps up with the same point streak.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, he's got to be front runner right now, which brings up this topic. I know we haven't talked about it, but I know you've probably seen this. Move on to the screen share here. So the quote here from Hockey Forever, I guess via the Sheet Hockey. Who knows what you should believe on the internet, right?
Dude, I don't think this was an anonymous person. I could have swore I saw the interview about this.
I never saw
Uh,
anyone associated with it. Let me read it though, because we got to remember we do have people that listen to the podcast. They don't see everything we share on the screen. Friendly reminder: if you are a podcast listener, you should join us live, mostly on Wednesday nights. You can see what we're talking about, and actually, we post the podcast as video most of the time. So there you go. Pull up the video version. All right, so an anonymous NHL awards voter said he won't vote Nikita Kucherov for Hart because he had a 2.5 week break while everyone else was playing high level hockey at the Olympics and came back tired. So the instant other side of that argument was, isn't that a disadvantage for Kuch, who
that's
doesn't get to play
real
at a high
quick.
level for 2.5 weeks?
Michelle put it on here, and it was Jeff Merrick who said that he was told that. So yeah, and by the way, it wasn't Cooch's decision not to play in the Olympics. Trust me, Cooch wanted to play in the
You think he
Olympics.
wanted to play? You didn't think he wanted a break to tune up his MVP skills, which also he does not care about winning. He told me to my face. Remember, I met him last year or 2 years ago, and we talked
years
about it because that was the 144 point year where he led the league, and for some reason that season it was McKinnon's turn to win it, is what everyone said. So yeah, my response to this is just number one bullshit. Like, this is just an excuse of why you don't want Nikita Kucherov to win the Hart Trophy. And it will be a crime again if he does not win it. And I don't see that happening. The way he's playing right now, the way he's just racking up multi-point games. That was the other stat that came up, like the consecutive 4+ point games or whatever that he had, and the names that were on that list: Gretzky, Lemieux, all
If you
time.
do not follow the Lightning Insider, Eric Erlson, who we had on several times on this show throughout the years, there is every single game, there is a new stat that Cooch is owning, and weirdly odd stats sometimes, and Eric puts them out there every single game. So if you're not following the Lightning Insider, Eric Erlson, follow him on X. You can always subscribe to his newsletter. Also, he has great stories, but every single game he has a some kind of where Kuch has passed somebody or Kuch is only in company of Gretzky and this person and all these different things. So follow him if you haven't.
Absolutely. Lightning Insider, one of the best. Also, one of the most featured guests on this show.
Yep.
I don't know if it's got to be him or Sonia, or like neck and neck for most times.
You want me to share a little secret about Sonia real quick?
Well, I was looking forward to hearing her last night, and it was.
She's not, any of the theme nights. Remember, she does not do theme nights. So I got a text from her yesterday, and as long as she wears the bubble wrap that I told her she needs to wear, and the Lightning play at least 3 home games in the playoffs, that will be her. Let me get the number exactly right. That will be a big home game 3 of the playoffs this year. Will be her 500th game of singing the national anthem.
That sounds about right. Wow, that's cool. Hey, we should have her on the show. What's up, Sarah? By the way, I ignored the chat so much last week. I feel bad about it. It was just me and Deandra, so chat went to the wayside. I do like, I'm right's comment here. I think Kucherov is this generation's Jaromir Jagr. I think you might be right on that.
He says he'll play until he's 40. I don't think Kuch will do that, though. I don't think Kuch wants to go out like Ovi is.
Yeah, I get the same feeling. I get the feeling that when Kuch starts to suck, he's just going to hate life so much that he's going to be like, nah.
Yep. Yeah, I think Kuch is going to go out on his own, and I think he's going to go like maybe a year when he is on the decline and he knows he's on a decline, and he's just going to be like, okay, that's it for me. I've done all these records. I've done all this. What else can I do? 2 Stanley Cups, hopefully 3 or 4 by the time, maybe 5 by the time he's done.
Wait, didn't you say a couple weeks ago or not winning any more Stanley Cups in the next 5 years or something?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said if we didn't, that's Michelle. Stephanie said, "Hey guys."
Up, Stephanie. I'm right. He'll have the ability to play at that age. He'll still be racking up points by his 40s. I don't know. He's a small guy, and he gets beat up a lot. And he's more of a physical player than people give him credit for. So I don't know. But here's the crazy part about Kuch is we really have to extend him this summer. Like that needs to get done this summer. That's like top of the list.
Did you see where he also came out and stated that he studies videos of defensemen to find their weaknesses?
And he knows every single NHL defenseman's weakness. Where did that come from, though? Because you don't get that many Kucherov interviews, and I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah. Let's see. Michelle will probably be able to tell you before I can even get it up, but I've seen that a couple times. There was a couple things I've seen that obviously were not true.
Michelle says it's fake too. I don't know. Most stuff I see about Kucherov, I don't really believe unless I hear it from him. Or it's those crazy stats that we see. We know those are all true.
So it says, yes, it was. It's explicitly stated that he studies defensemen as part of his rigorous preparation to dominate in the NHL. His focus on understanding their tendencies to create scoring opportunities.
I believe it. I mean, if you watch him play, it kind of looks like he's got a cheat code.
Teammates and commentators have pointed to his obsessive video study and his dedication to learning from game film as key factors to his elite scoring availability. Huh.
By the way, we are on Instagram today. And Instagram, if you guys are out there watching, if you comment, we can't see it. So come find us on YouTube.
Beverly said that she believes that was a Joe Smith interview. So that's an old interview. I could reach out to him. Um, it wasn't him that said it. Gotcha.
I wonder if Joe Smith was in the house last night. Was the Wild
He was. He was. He was on that list. He, he made the list.
I guess we'll bring that up. We'll start talking about the games. We'll go back to my screen share here. I do want to talk about
MVP. You say yes. He wins
I
it.
think it's his to lose right now. If he for some reason just stops the crazy streak that he's on, then maybe they give it to somebody else. But it's his to lose right now. The way that he's been playing, especially the last couple months, and McDavid and McKinnon haven't dropped off, but they haven't been able to. They won't be able to keep up pace if he keeps going the way he's going. Yeah, MVP.
And what about Coop for Jack Adams?
Don't let a Sabres fan hear you on that one.
I think it's gonna be Lindy Ruff.
No, I think here's what that should come down to. Which one of these teams wins the Atlantic?
It has to be wins the Atlantic. Okay.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. We've got one game in hand. They're up by 2 points. We're literally neck and neck. We've got one more game in their barn, which is going to be a huge game. And I think if you're considering those two, you give it to the guy who puts his team at the top of the division. I think that's the fair way to settle it, because I do think Ruff deserves it too. The team was garbage.
Right.
And now they're good. So that doesn't just happen overnight. There's a major coaching aspect of that. So you do have to give him credit, as much as we don't like Sabres fans right now. Easter Day, it's that next Sabres game is like a Monday, I thought. And it's Dingus Day, which I don't even know what that is. Another weird Buffalo thing. But here's what I wanted to show you. This is why we saw the Joe Smith thing. So it was First Responders Night last night. And this was a little bit of a surprise, where they dedicated the moment of silence, of course, for the first responders who had passed away, but also they honored Jesse Pierce, who I believe was like a beat writer for the Wild.
She covered the Wild for NHL.com.
Okay. So yeah, a writer for the Wild passed away tragically. So
With her 3 kids.
yeah. So horrible accident, and it was cool to see the team do something with the Wild in the house. They don't have to do stuff like that, and obviously that's in the press box there, had the flowers out.
No, and do you have the sheet? They actually had her listed as her own seat.
No, it's a
There.
screenshot.
Huh?
No, this is just a screenshot. I don't have the whole sheet, but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
They
that's
actually had her listed as her own spot there up in the radio in the booth, and I can tell you we have gotten the chance to be up there a handful of times, and those people up there really know each other. I mean, literally, we were like the rookies not knowing anything up there, but everybody else knows each other. So, all the way from our side of the side with Jay, with Eric, with the chief, all these people knew who she was. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you've seen it with our media folks. A lot of them have been on this show. They're kind of like family. They're friends, and they've been together forever. And it's probably tough for like a new guy like Ben, who comes in last year. Like, he's got to insert himself in there with all of them.
2 years ago. Ben was 2 years.
You're there now? Dang.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a good job, but yeah, I think Sarah says it all right here. Nice job by the Lightning there. All right, let's rewind though. I want to go all the way back to Vancouver. 6-2 win. Kind of expected that one. By the way, when I posted the schedule for this next week, the 4 games on the road trip for Vancouver Oilers Flames in the Wild. I guess I did the week before. So it was Seattle, Vancouver, Oilers, Flames, that 4-game West Coast road trip. I said, yeah, I think we're going to go 3-1. And people acted like I was fucking crazy. 3-0-1. Starting to think it's not me. It might be Twitter. That's crazy. But we went 3-0-1. Vancouver, not a problem. And we're starting back here on from last Wednesday night. But we played Vancouver on Thursday. That was one of my favorite things that happened this week. It started, I think, in that game. It might have started in the Seattle game. Do you know what I'm talking about? They did it for most of the road trip. My favorite Bolts news this week. Or I guess last week. The Dave trade.
Oh, yes.
It confused so many people. People are still confused. What happened to Dave Randorf? I didn't really catch the reason why, but they traded spots.
It could be speculation, but people were saying that
hey, time out. Time out. We don't want any speculation on this show. Don't say that.
Randolph had something he had to attend in Tampa, and so he wasn't going to be able to do all the media spots.
Okay, so he was at home because he still did the radio.
Right. With Phil. And I don't think Phil was on.
Yeah, Phil was on there, and Phil is not going to go on that road trip.
Right. Phil doesn't go on road trips.
I think for the most part, people loved it on both sides. It was good to get Mishkin on TV, and because you don't always hear him if you're, always watching these games on TV. I don't listen to the radio that much. I see like the replay of Dave calling it after the night after or whatever. But that was cool to get him on TV, and then Randorf on the radio side. I didn't really get to listen to that, but we know Randorf. He's good. He knows what he's doing.
We've had him on that twice.
But yeah, that was my favorite thing that they did last week, besides all the winning and beating those West Coast teams. But yeah, 6-2. Nikita Kucherov. Sorry, that's cracking. Let me go back. 6-2 Canucks. This was another great game for Nikita Kucherov. He had a 3-point game. Sorelli with 3 points. Radish put in a goal and an assist. And from the start, it looked like Lightning were going to win this game in Vancouver, and they should have beaten Vancouver. So get the win that they should have had. The game that I had as a possible loss, of course, was going to be against the Oilers on Saturday night. And the Lightning
looked at
4 points for Nikita Kucherov. McDavid did score. He had his 399th career goal in that game, and he did score the first goal, but it was the Lightning that stormed back, scored 3 straight in the second period, and then Oilers tried to mount a comeback with a goal in the third period, but Nikita Kucherov ended that pretty quickly with his 40th goal, and Sorelli capped it off with the game winner. Not the game winner, the empty net goal to make it 5.
Very physical game.
Yeah.
Very physical game. Lot of fights. You saw a couple times. You saw Connor McDavid get annoyed. That's some comments made after that game that Connor McDavid has now tried to walk back since that game and saying that people took it out of context. Basically saying that the Lightning are coach great, and that they're not. And then when people asked him to elaborate, he said, you're going to have to talk to Knobs about it, and then walked it back and said, well, I didn't mean it like that. But did make some really good comments about the Lightning, how they're a great team, coached by a great coach, and have a great system, and has not been well liked since he said that.
Best part of that game, hands down. Nikita Kucherov comes in a couple points behind McDavid. McDavid scores the first goal of the game. And halfway through the second period, Nikita Kucherov gets out of the box, scores his first ever shorthanded goal to take the lead 4 points over McDavid in McDavid's barn. And then the craziest part was on the other end that started the whole breakout as Kuch was getting out of the box. Lilleberg's flattening McDavid. Like, remember, I told you I've been taking notes on some of the best moments of the season, and there's been a lot of like really, really cool moments, and that's on the list. Like that was such an awesome play. And if you look back at it and say, when did that tide turn from McKinnon, McDavid to Kuch for that heart? Look at that one play. I mean, that
was the game. That was the game Lilleberg made his return with a big cage as Coop did it, and Hetty was they announced Hetty was out sick for that game. So we had Lilleberg in and Hetty was out.
Yep. So big win there. And then, of course, back to back, JoJo goes in. People are going to blame it on JoJo. I'm not blaming it on you, JoJo. Got a tough job only being able to. I mean, that's a tough job only being able to play once every month or whatever he plays, man. That's rough for a goalie. But Lightning did have 35 shots on goal to 29. Calgary didn't get the win this game. McDonough had a rare goal, his 6th of the season. Radish had his 19th, added 20th last night. Holmberg with a goal, but it was the big dogs that did not show up. Kuch did have a point, but that first line that had been dominating, Calgary found a way to shut him down, and that was the difference in this game. And, I mean, it looked like we were going to come back and win this game with about 5 minutes left. That's when Holmberg tied it, and usually we got a good record of coming back, but no, it was Strome that actually wins that game in overtime. So it was an overtime 4-3 win. The Lightning did a point on a tough road trip where you missed it but we recapped how the Lightning had done in previous road trips over the last 2 years. This specific West Coast trip, they actually do pretty well. They usually go the last couple of years like 3-1, 3-0-1, something like that. So there you go. They did it again, and what a way to come back to Tampa and start a 7 home game stand that almost just kind of takes you right into the playoffs. And they did it in pretty spectacular fashion last night. A 6-3 win against the Wild, who a lot of people forgot gave us a pretty good beating in Minnesota not long ago. 5-1, 6-1 they beat us. Bassey had that misplay on the puck. It was the whole like curse of Dan Cloutier that maybe came back, but that does not work in our house, right? So first responders night,
full of penalties.
A lot of penalties for the first responders. A couple fights. Perry bloodied up. He got beat up. Sabrin, I don't know. He ended up bloody too. So maybe we shouldn't be fighting so much because we're not great at fighting. But I still like our chances. I feel like when we have kind of these things happen, it makes our team play harder. And that fight, not the Perry one, but Sabrin, that was a long fight. Have you seen a fight that long before?
Not in a while.
No, that was a long ass fight. Hold on, I do have that queued up on Twitter here. Let's watch this. I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to get in too much trouble. But this site, hockeyfights.com, obviously great content.
Yes.
It It's tracking the punch. It's got a punch counter on here. But just look at the time on this. 126. That fight felt like it was at least 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Like here, we're not even punching. We're waiting for somebody to make the first move. And then these guys just start wailing on each other. I was at the game actually last night, and I saw this from a TV outside. All the good stuff happens when I get up to go to the bathroom or get a drink. But I swear I was standing there watching this fight for 5 minutes, and man, yeah, this was a good one. And I think what they're going to show you here, Sawburn threw more punches. But yeah, big fight there. And then I do want to bring up one of the goals of the year. 2 of the goals of the year are owned by this man, Eric Chernak. Do you remember his first goal? He's got 2 goals this year. 2 of the best goals of the year. Do you remember his first goal of the year?
No.
Well, I could not find it on Twitter. I was looking before we started. But he kind of took it right to the house. He took it around the defense and then like deked and backhanded it in. Do you remember it now? Like it was like, whoa, I didn't know that guy could do that. You don't remember?
No, but I can.
Anyway, trust me, it was one of the best goals of the year. And you're like, wait, Chernak can do that? It was an awesome goal. But this goal, not as much skill, but this was some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. Hold on, let's see if we got a better view here.
Before the game.
I love this top view because this top view is from the camera that he breaks. First of all, goalie, huge mistake here. And then somehow Chernak is the only guy around. He's supposed to be playing defense right now. But no, he's up here and finds that puck. And the craziest part is obviously the camera's shattered right in the center of the net there. And nobody called it a goal. They kept playing.
I found it. It was in the they were wearing their stadium jerseys at home against the Panthers.
Well, are you going to show it? Or are you just going to tease us?
Yeah. Sorry.
Hold on, we'll make you.
It's a kind of long play here.
Yeah, he passes over. And then, oh, that's what it was. It was a wraparound. It was the wraparound goal.
Yeah.
But still, just not what you expect. It's over. It's over. Not what you expect from our guy Chernak. But I think we have a pretty good record when Chernak's playing well and scoring goals. But I loved how he was somehow in the right spot at the right time to slam that one home. And guess what? This is 3-3 in the third period with like 3 minutes left. Game-winning goal for Chernak. You got to love it. You got to love our guy, Eric Chernak. All right, so yes, 6-3 win. Bolts add a couple more goals there with the empty netters. Jake Gensel gets his 300th NHL goal from his knees. I don't know if you saw that one, but nice little spiffy play.
I did.
There.
And there was a penalty called on the play for him getting knocked down, and he negated the penalty by scoring.
There you go. And then in this game, we also went down 2-0 in the first period. So at the end of the first period, we're all looking at each other like, what's going on? And the team did not play well the first period. They did not look good in that first period.
Well,
but
like Michelle said, Mac had a goal last night too for Minnesota. The first 2 or 3 were scored off of Lightning players. And I was listening to Michigan. I was driving home, and Michigan said Minnesota has 75 more power play minutes than they have penalty kill minutes. Like, that is insane that this team does not get called for that many penalties. And you saw it last night. There was such a difference in penalties last night. And that's a team that just knows how to get you into taking a penalty against them.
well, also it was Kelly Sutherland last night too. That was the ref. I don't
Yep.
think he likes the Lightning very much. I mean, there were some blatant missed calls in that game last night where it's like, wait, you're going to call a hook on whoever on the Lightning, like a little love tap on the hands, which is a penalty. Give him credit for that. But meanwhile, behind our net, like I forget who got hit pretty hard behind the net, and it was just like, what? Okay, we're not gonna call this one. Either way, Bolts survive against another good probably playoff bound team in the Wild. And I mean,
Something I did notice last night. I want to get your opinion. Now, don't take this out of context, people. I absolutely love Hagel. I absolutely love Hagel. But do you think in like the last month or two, he has gotten an attitude where he's fighting a lot and taking penalties a lot? And that's something that he's going to have to keep the attitude, but don't take those stupid penalties going into the playoffs.
I think he's probably getting a good talking to about that. Yeah, like you got to be smart about it. But like you said, you don't want him to lose that edge. Like you want him to
Right.
be.
And people are targeting him because they know he's going to retaliate against them. And that's probably one of the easiest. At the beginning of the season, you predicted Lilleberg was going to end up with the most penalty minutes. And I think it might end up being Hagel that ends up this season with the most penalty minutes. And a lot of it is because they are targeting him, going after him, because they know he's going to retaliate, and you're going to get that power play. Or if not, you're at least getting a good player like Brendan Hagel off the ice and a 4-on-4 situation.
Yeah. Well, he's got to figure out how to control his emotions out there, which you don't want to lose all of your emotion out there, because I mean, he's the only guy who I guess maybe not now that Perry's back, but like who else on this roster is going to make a big hit, drop the gloves with somebody, and then pump up the crowd on his way to the box? Like
Yanni Gord. Yanni Gord.
True. I guess Yanni, but I mean, we're not seeing him do that too much. He's kind of quiet.
No.
Not complaining about it. He's got that role on the third line, and he's contributing by scoring the occasional goal here and there. But yeah, you do have something there. There's something to Hagel's got to be able to stay out of the box. And then the other thing is, like, he is getting targeted because it was, I forget what game it was, Vancouver or against the Oilers.
Oilers.
Was it the Oilers? I mean, he gets crushed against the boards. His head crushed against the boards, and thankfully he comes back. Cirelli steps up for him, drops the gloves, and Cirelli goes off hurt, and all of a sudden we're down. Our first line is now just Nikita Kucherov for a couple minutes in that game. So, geez, I mean, we know what Kuch can do it all, but those were some scary moments, because we do need these guys to stay healthy. We've had enough injuries where we're finally almost completely healthy. I know we still got some guys out long term, but they're not like the key players. Like, that first line's been playing so well. They've been the engine of the offense that we need them. We need that in the playoffs, because we need the best defensive line to hopefully try and not shut down that first line, so that the second and third line can do the damage. So staying healthy is going to be key down this stretch, and then hopefully we get some of these guys back. I don't know what the status of a Crozier is with the news we're going to talk about with Hedman. Obviously, that becomes a lot more important.
Crozier, I think they said the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but I think it's the same thing with Carlisle too, right? Carlisle could be back at some point in the playoffs. And in case you didn't hear today, we're not allowed to talk about it on our Lightning podcast, but Victor Hedman is on a leave of absence, and we will talk about that in a second. So, yeah, staying healthy and keeping Hagel out of the box. Top priorities. Dominic James too. Dominic James more on the offensive side, obviously. He's the other guy that will be looking to come back. Who else are we missing from injury? Everyone else is good to go, right?
Yeah, Bjorkstrand was scratched last night. Oh, Dominic James.
Dominic James. Yeah, I just mentioned them. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah. So that'll be a huge pickup. That's the depth we're going to need because you're going to get guys that get bumps and bruises during the playoffs. All right. I guess we'll talk about it. Victor Hedman. And if you don't know why I was complaining earlier, it's because I was attacked when I saw the news for Victor Hedman in between my work meetings. I tweeted out, look at this, kind of in shock because I wasn't expecting to see Victor Hedman's leaving the team temporarily, hopefully. So I tweeted out, we'll be talking about it tonight at 9. We can only speculate about what's going on. Thomas, you think I would have pissed on this man's grave the way some Bolts fans responded to that? Like, clearly they don't watch the show. By the way, this is a Victor Hedman jersey. Do any of you trolls have a Victor Hedman jersey? Like, I'm sorry if my tweet, you couldn't read it correctly, or you don't watch the show to understand that we actually like the team that we talk about every week, and that we do post multiple times on Wednesday before our Wednesday night show, especially when there's news about the team. So if you're going to come at me, especially with your faceless profile and your no-name profile, fuck off. That's my message to you. Fuck off. My show. If you don't want to listen to it, fuck off.
That's going to be the little clip that gets tweeted over and over again.
I don't care. I don't care. Listen, all I posted was, let me not misquote my post, but my God, you would think I'm fucking attacking the guy. Meanwhile, there's Buffalo Sabres fans actually attacking the guy in the main post. But no, we're going to go after our little podcast with these freaking losers. So I posted, wow, again, in shock, right after the news comes out. Right after, because you and I text. Join us tonight at 9 p.m. live. We know nothing, so all we can do is speculate. Who am I fucking hurting here? And by the way, you know what word triggered people? These speculate.
Because all I kept saying was, you're going to start rumors. And
and listen, I mostly avoid the trolls. But when you start to put, I said it earlier, when you start to put words in our mouths, when we're going to talk about it, we're doing it right now, that's when I get pissed. So again, you can fuck off. Don't listen to the podcast. I don't care. Don't follow us. I don't care. I was looking at a couple of your profiles. You follow the Penguins. You're number one fan for the Penguins, the Lightning in the Wild.
One of them
Pick one.
Isn't one of them like, I'm so-and-so's number one fan and he's going to want me someday? You know, I had some of the same reactions in Thunderbolts when I posted in Thunderbolts. Of course, everybody's saying, you know, thoughts and prayers are with Hetty, his family. Nobody knows what they're going through. Yeah. I've had people
this is the kind of thing we're going to talk about.
Right. I've had people DM me, but now people are starting to bring in, well, this is because maybe people shouldn't have been criticizing his play previous. Okay, I have made no bones about it. I have not liked Hetty's play at all this year. And
you're not allowed to say that anymore.
When we had Eric Erelson on, I specifically said it to him. He said, you know, Hedman is not the same as he was. Whether he was still injured, whatever he's going through now, he was going through then, we don't know. and a lot of people are saying, well, this, you shouldn't have criticized his play. He may have been going through this. I'm sorry, but he was on the ice. He made the decision to be on the ice and play that game. So therefore, you have a right to criticize his play. Whatever is happening off the ice with his family, or himself, we hope things work out the best. We hope he's great. Um,
And if you know us and you've watched this show, you know that's what we're going to say. And that's how we feel about Hedman. We've been watching the guy for years now. Like, the reaction was like, we're going to come on here and shit all over the guy, not knowing what's happening with him. Like, get a fucking life, trolls. And I'll put the chat in the chat if anyone is actually wants to come on and put yourself out there on camera, on mic, not behind a faceless profile. Feel free, because I put myself out there, and I don't back down to people. I know when to back down. School, you know that. I won't cause a fight. I think you'd back me up there. But
yeah,
when you put
I would
me,
be the one to cause a fight.
when you put me in a situation where, again, you're going to put words in our mouth, that's when I have a problem. So once again, if you don't like our account, don't follow. Fuck off. There's no bigger Lightning fans than you have on right here. We've almost done 250 fucking shows. Show some goddamn respect for this show, bitches. I won't deal with it. And listen, if you have your face and name in your profile picture, then you can talk smack all you want, but don't hide behind this bullshit, and don't put words in our mouth. Come see what we're going to say. What we said was not that bad. Of course, we're going to talk about the biggest Lightning news of the day. Don't act like we're going to sit here and slander Victor Hedman, one of our favorite players, and just make
During this road trip, the Lightning announced he was out due to illness. He left the one game, we know, due to injury, correct? Then the next game, he was out due to illness. But in the third game, I think it was out due to illness. Last night, nothing was stated. And then the Lightning came out today saying that he has took a leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. Please respect their wishes and their privacy. Well, we all know that right there leaves the door open for speculation. Not that it's any of our fucking business what is going on with him. Not that it's any of our fucking business what has transpired. But that's all you're going to have. When I tell you I have probably at least 10 people that have messaged me and said, this is what they've heard, this is what they've heard, this is what they heard.
Oh, you mean people speculating?
Right. But even if I could confirm any of them, I surely wouldn't put it out there. I mean, it wouldn't be my business to put it out there. So...
And that was one of the comments that pissed me off. And if I can find it fast enough, I'll shout it out, because this guy's just a straight up troll lately. Is the one that I showed you of, oh, you guys are just going to go spread rumors and shit on him. I'm like, go fuck yourself, bud. Jake and Bake at Bolt_RN86. You're a hell of a fan, bub.
This is one that I was on the actual Lightning's tweet, and I thought this one really. There is a personal side of, listen, there's a personal, and this is the Bolts guy, Dyson, TFN. There is a personal side of things, and then there's a business. Personally, I wish him the best. From a business standpoint, how long will he be unreliable to the team? We will find out, but there are hungry players ready to take his place. And I agree with that. I agree that he's not been, whether he's been dealing with this, whatever it is, all season long, he's been in and out, in and out, in and out, and inconsistent as a player. I have said this time and time again. When you pay for a product like the fans do, you have the right to criticize. I hate when people say, well, that's a bandwagon person, or they say you're not a true fan, or you don't play hockey. If you can do better, you go down there. I say the same thing. If you go to a restaurant and you have a shitty experience at the restaurant, if your food comes and it's not the way you want it, you complain or you don't pay for it. If you're going to pay for something, then you have the right to have it, have a say of the way you want it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I pay a lot of money to watch the Lightning for a very long time. And so therefore, yes, I'm going to critique on what I think and what I can I play? Hell no. I'm too fat. I can't play hockey. I'm not coordinated enough. No, I can do. You wouldn't even see me on some ECHL team, except for maybe I can fight. That's about it.
Nobody's paying you
Um,
$8 million a year to play, so you don't
yeah,
have to worry.
no.
But if they were, I
So
would be pissed. We would be. I would be talking about it.
but you have the right to be able to critique a team and critique a play. That's what we do. That's what a lot of people have made their careers out of doing. Um, you know, there isn't a lot of them are former players, but some aren't. And they make a career out of doing this. A lot of your reporters for these teams have never played or have just played a pickup league like Shooter does. So you have the right to critique it. Now, when it comes to a personal side like this, a leave of absence, could we start 10 different rumors? Oh, hell yeah, we could. Are we going to? No. Um, can we talk about his play on the ice? Absolutely. It's been down this year. I don't think anybody can say his play has been good this year. When he's been on that ice, it is not the Victor Hedman that we have known. Was it something mental from what he's going through? Could be. Doesn't stop that he was on that ice and we were not a better team with him on the ice this season.
Yeah, yeah. And we don't know what happened. We might not never know what happened. It might not be any of our business what happened. But we talk once a week about the Lightning. We're gonna fucking talk about our captain not being on the team.
Yep.
3 weeks before the playoffs. Sorry, we're gonna talk about it. And I thought the statement was weird from the Lightning. If you go and you can go search on Twitter, Google, whatever you want, go search other players that have had a leave of absence. It's not uncommon for many reasons. But here's the message from the Lightning here. The Tampa Bay Lightning announced today that defenseman Victor Hedman will be taking a temporary leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. No further details will be shared. The team asks that his privacy be respected at this time, which we will do. But usually when you see a temporary leave of absence, there's some sort of clue. Not always, but it's very, 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 very rare that you don't get anything. You even see here, like, and see
They
from
usually say a player has
team matter.
entered the assistance program.
You get something. It's
Yeah.
very weird. And honestly, it is kind of worrying that they don't want anything to talk about it, or they don't want to talk about what it is or why. And it really could be anything. It really, really could be anything. So you do want to be careful about what you say with it. But the reality is, it's been a really rough season for Hedman. I see Sarah's comment, and I'll bring that up in a second. And I saw another good comment I flagged here from Kyle that we'll talk about in a second, Kyle. But the bottom line is the Lightning need to figure out a way to play without their captain temporarily. I don't know what that means, how this happened. Listen, it could be a personal reason. It says it's personal reason. That personal reason could be the Lightning said, we're going to scratch you next game. And Victor Hedman said, fuck you. Like, we don't know. And again, we know nothing. That's probably not it. But either way, Lightning are without their captain. And I don't know. You got to expect him to be back by the playoffs, right?
Well, if he's not, it's going to be win it for Hetty. You kind of like, and this is not saying this is what Hedman went through, but when they were in the bubble and Stamkos' wife had the miscarriage and Stammer left the bubble and the team was playing for Stamkos, and then he ends up coming in, scoring, tears his core muscle, and then goes back out. That whole playoff bubble-ish was all about win it for Stammer, win it for the miscarriage that they ended up having. So could that be what Hetty's going there? We have no idea. We're not speculating that's what it is. But I'm saying if he's not able to go for the playoffs, I gotta imagine that's going to be the team motto is win this for Hedman. The only bright side of him being out is this team has learned how to play without him.
We've been better without him this season.
We have played more without him this season than we have with him this season. So they know what they need to do. Could this be something that the Lightning knew was coming, and this is why they picked up Corey Perry? Maybe, because we talked about that was that voice in the locker room. He's the veteran voice in the locker room. So maybe this is why they picked up Corey Perry. We don't know.
Yeah. So, again, we hope whatever is keeping Hedman away from the rink is not a bad thing. And he has had a tough season, right? Getting hurt, having surgery, coming back for the Olympics. I mean, honestly, I think he got benched by his team, by his country. He got benched for the USA game. Before that game. So, and I still want to say it's because of injury. I think he's had nagging injuries because when I asked Deandra or we talked to Eric and we talked to the people that are in those rooms, they don't give away anything, but don't you kind of get the sense that he's more hurt than we know about?
Yeah.
Like from Eric and them. So, and like we've talked about.
I just thought it was odd that the Lightning came out. The last thing we heard about Hedman was he was out due to illness. That was the last report they came out and said about Hedman before they announced this today. Instead of saying he was injured, it was an illness.
Yeah. And again, is it, well, guess what? You're going to show up as a scratch on Thursday night. And like, if I'm Hedman, I'm pissed if I'm healthy enough to play. Was there a difference between the team? Because let's get it straight. The Tampa Bay Lightning are not this squeaky clean organization that we all want to believe they are, right? We've lost players in the past on certain things. Marty St. Louis. Oh, and guess what? Did you listen to Mike Calta this morning?
No.
Mike Calta mentioned people in PR and the Lightning, none of them are there anymore, he said, we're trying to get him to rally a campaign against St. Louis on his first trip back after that trade. So let's not all sit here and pretend that the Tampa Bay Lightning are this, golden child, squeaky clean organization that does everything right, because it's just not true. So anyway, we don't know what happened. If we find out what happened, it'll probably be when all you guys do. So we hope he's fine. We hope he's back soon. We hope everything is good on the personal front with him. But the way that that's worded and the way that it came out of nowhere, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about it. You can't be. We got other guys to put in the game there, and we know we can win without him. But
what's the comments you saw that you liked?
So Sarah, I feel like with all the time away from the team, from his surgery, getting injured in the Olympics, his head wasn't where it should be. He didn't look very happy at the Buffalo game a few weeks ago. Not the same Hetty I remember from years before. Yeah, 100%. I think most of us have seen that all season long. Just not the same player. Looks physically different. And I was saying it 2 weeks ago with you. I was like, hey, I mean, if you can start playing a lot, you can drop that weight real easily when you're a big boy like that and get that skating back under you. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with him. So anyway, get well, Eddie.
Yeah, you can speculate 900 different things. Whether the captain got too much for him, whether we noticed he's gained weight, whether it's something with his family, an injury, and the Lightning had to have known, and Victor Hedman had to have known that all these speculations were going to come out, all these rumors were going to come out when they did that statement. Obviously, that was a statement that Hedman wanted out and the Lightning wanted out. They definitely wouldn't have done a blanket statement like that without clearing it with Hedman and his camp first. So it's going to be interesting. Who knows if we'll ever find out? It
Maybe
could be he just comes back. He just comes back and says, "I'm back, bitches," and all of a sudden he scores a hat trick. Or, someone speculated tomorrow he retires. You don't know. So it's going to be, huh?
On our own post that we were shamed for speculating. By the way, tons of people speculating. So, yeah, from the craziest stuff. Like, he's still upset that the dog died. What was Harry passed away?
Harry.
That might be a stretch to like horrible things. But anyway, moral of the story is don't take it out on us. If there's lightning news, we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna speculate. It's a fucking podcast, and we happen to be doing a show on the same night. So again, fuck off. It's my show. I do what I want. Schooley's show too. He does what he wants. And
Matter of fact, Shooter was trying to find things to talk about tonight. He was like, "I don't know what to talk about," and I was like, "Well, let's talk about the Kuch, where the guy said he won't vote for Kuch. We could talk about this." And he's like, "Oh yeah, good." And then all of a sudden, this announcement came out, and I sent it to him, and I was like, "Well, well, well." And he's like, uh, "You know, the Lightning. Trust me, the Lightning know we do a podcast on Wednesday nights. They know
and
we were going to talk about this tonight."
yeah, and guess what? They can't stop us from talking about it either. So yeah, and how many podcast networks have tried to get us to join them? Plenty.
A lot.
And guess who still runs the show? We ain't firing ourselves. So you can try to get us canceled all you want, but try a little harder because we barely did shit. I'm sorry you're so sensitive. Anyway.
By the way, congratulations to John Cooper, who 13 years ago today was hired as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The picture you posted was crazy. Same hairline.
Yeah.
It's gotten grayer. That's what blew my mind.
Oh, right there.
Same hairline, just grayer. That's what I'm hoping for as I get older here.
So 13 years ago, he took over for who was the coach? Do you remember? Shut up, Michelle.
The coach was Guy Boucher.
Boucher, yeah. Guy
Yeah.
Boucher, who would not say how he got that scar on his cheek.
Don't you speculate. Do not speculate about you motherfucker. You don't want to upset people here. All right, we got stuff to talk about. Where was that comment from Kyle? Kyle's probably long gone. He's been offended. Not sure if you guys saw. I did not see this. David Pagnotta just said Radish wants a similar JJ Mosier contract. He's looking for 6x6. I'd take it. I'd do it. I don't love the 6 years, but for $6 million, cap's going up. McDonough's numbers going down. I do $6 million for Mosier. Or sorry,
And
for
Bjork going off the
Strand's gone. You got it covered already if you want that deal. I think the problem is you got to sign him now because if and when he hits free agency, I think he can probably get more than that just from the desperation of other teams. And, you know, we didn't even talk about his bomb last night for goal number 20, ties a Tampa Bay Lightning record for goals by a defenseman. You know, the other two defensemen that had 20 goals?
I saw this answer, so don't ask me.
I'm asking you. No one else to talk to here.
I was waiting. I thought you were gonna ask them. I was like, I saw Eric who tweeted out. I was gonna say, I think Michelle would know, and maybe Beverly would too. No, I wasn't telling you to shut up this time, Michelle. I was telling you to answer.
So one is Dan Boyle. Does anyone know the other one?
There you go.
No, it was Victor Hedman? I don't think that's right. Was it?
Hetty had 20 goals.
I didn't think he hit 20. But okay, I believe you. All right, so yeah, great season goes on for Radish. He's been scoring again the last couple games. Defense has tightened up. Destou's looking pretty good out there. Hitting our stride just in time. 6 games now at home. That does not include last night's win. Let's pull up the schedule here. And then we'll talk about the games next week, and then we're going to play a little game before we get out of here. So let me pull up my schedule while Thomas burns a heater on the balcony.
No, I'm not.
Good, because
I was tinkling.
What's that with that?
You know, something else I was thinking about was that, you know, JBB came out and said that they would not be offering Radish anything until the end of the season. Now all of a sudden we started getting talk that they were now having a conversation with Radish. Did they know this thing with Hedman was coming up? Speculation, but we do have two different things where you had JBB say he was not going to discuss a contract extension to now they're talking about a contract extension. So,
well, I think
there's a whole bunch. Well, definitely. We said how dumb it was before. I mean, you signed every other D-man that was up this year
during the season, which they typically don't.
Right, during the season, and then you leave the only other one who's doing your best defensive performance, and you say, you know what, we're going to let him, he deserves a lot of money. We're going to let him test free agency. Now, all of a sudden, last week it comes out, now they're negotiating with him, and then today it comes out, Hedman. So I'm wondering if, this has been something that has been in the works for a little while. It'll be interesting to see.
I really think there's more to it than we know. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything that's like a horrible, horrible thing. Because remember, I mean, go look it up. If people go on one of these leaves with their teams and it's a family thing or, death in the family or, whatever it is, usually
they did not. Darlene did come back today. And his fiance, who had a transplant, she was finally able to travel back home, and they showed her at Buffalo, and she got a huge reaction. So when Darlene originally took his leave of absence, they did not announce why also, until I think like a couple days later, after her transplant was completed and she was out of the woods, they ended up announcing it.
That makes sense. And who knows? It could be an emergency, something like that really is none of anyone's business except for his. We don't know. We might not ever know. But sorry.
They'll never know. They'll never know. They'll never know.
You know what we will know? If the Lightning will beat the Kraken on Thursday night, 7:00 at the bench. So yeah, Kraken come to town. Kraken put up a decent fight when we played them a couple weeks ago.
We did the live broadcasts that
Oh, that was the game we did the. Yeah, I mean they stuck in there. I felt like we were the better team the whole time, but they stuck in there. So I'm not too worried about tomorrow night's game. I think we take the win. It's the Saturday Sunday. So again, let's play the game we always play for back to backs. When does Vasi start? We need like a sound effect for that. Which goalie starts the back to back?
I have been right on every single one of these.
All right. Well, Senators or Predators?
Yeah, you got to play them against Ottawa.
I'll take Predators. Why against Ottawa? Division game?
Division game. It's the first game of the back-to-back. I don't think you put in him against a Western Conference team, and with a team as hungry as Nashville is right now to hold on to that playoff spot, because they have been surging into that playoff spot and have been scoring a ton. And with you then playing another conference game with the Canadians on Tuesday, I think you stick with that.
Yeah. But does Vasi like day games? Do we know this? Does he like day games? Do you have a preference?
Well, that's what was it, around the same time that the stadium game played, right? That was at 6. Or did it end up?
Yeah, but Saturday's
6:30.
game is at 1. The rare home
Oh yeah.
day game. I'm actually going to be there. Not tomorrow,
It's
but
5
on
o'clock on Sunday.
5 o'clock Sunday. I'm going to go Saturday.
I'm going
to
Sunday.
the early game. I know you're not going to miss Sunday's game because you never miss when Peter Forsberg's in town.
Yeah. No. Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
You never miss Perfect's back in town. And then you're not going tomorrow, are you? Our friend Tay's going to be at the game.
Yeah, she messaged me. And she's got a meet and greet afterwards with Bjorky.
Yeah, I was talking to her earlier. We are not going to be there. But yeah,
Tomorrow night is Pride night. Saturday is Saturday Kids Day. Michelle, you'll know.
Probably.
Is Saturday or Sunday Kids Day?
probably it's Kids Day. Bringing my
It's
kids.
usually that 1 o'clock game.
Kids Day for me. Yeah, I think Kraken should be an easy win. It's NHL, so none of them are easy wins. Senators, that's an important game for Lightning.
Saturday's the kids game. All the mascots, different mascots will be there for, it's always Thunderbug's birthday party. So I do know the minor league team for the Pittsburgh Pirates, their mascot Marty is going to be there. Marty the Marauder. He's going to be there with one of my
You know him?
buddies. Huh?
You know him?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Lucky.
That I gave my tickets for Saturday's game to someone who's bringing their 5-year-old kid that's never been to a game. So they were looking for tickets, so I gave them my tickets.
Perfect. All right, so Kraken win, Senators win, Predators win, Canadians win 4-0 this week. We got to lose one of those games.
Yeah, I think we lose to Nashville.
That's if you're gonna lose one, it's got to be Predators or Kraken, because Senators, you got a good chance to put one nail in the coffin.
I honestly think we might go 2-2. I think we win the first 2 and maybe lose the last 2. That Canadian game is going to be tough too.
That'll
Marty
be
St. Louis has turned that team around.
That will be a good game. I think they match up well against us, and we haven't really played them that much this season. I feel like we must have a couple more games against them. Well, actually, we don't have many games left at all. Yeah, we do have one more. So yeah, I think we only played the Canadians once already. We beat them, but remember that was the game they were coming back strong and just ran out of time. So they do play us well. But we'll be back April 1st. So before the Pittsburgh game, in between the Canadian game and the Pittsburgh game, April Fool's Day. We will.
I have I have block party that day, just an FYI.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're Thomas's second favorite podcast.
Well, because of all your speculation, I had to pick a I had to pick a new favorite podcast.
Do you think Hedman will be the guest?
No, he already has been this year.
All right. Let's play this game and let's get out of here. All right. I told you not to watch at least the end of last week's episode because
And I did not.
Leandra, God bless her, she bombed it. She bombed it. She would tell you the same thing. And listen, to her credit,
Boston just beat Buffalo in overtime, so Buffalo still gets 1 point. So now Tampa holds it over them if they win out. That head-to-head matchup on I think April 4th is going to be really
that will be the
big.
key game in Buffalo on Dingus Day. I don't even know what that means, man.
I don't know. I've been called a dingus a couple times. No,
thought-
actually, my niece used to call my nephew a dingus. Um,
So is it a Buffalo thing?
Easter Monday, Smigus Dingus. Dingus, a celebration held on Easter Monday across Central Europe and then small parts of Eastern and Southern Europe. What? It's a Polish-American celebration held on Easter Monday that marks the end of Lent with joyful water-based traditions signaling spring, fertility, and cleansing. It is heavily celebrated in cities like Buffalo and South Bend, Indiana by splashing water and using pussy willow branches to
Jesus.
celebrate culture and heritage. So the
So-
pussy willow is for the fertility, I'm guessing.
So this is like when all the Buffalo people come out of like their hibernation from the winter and the snow, like see the sun for the first time in months in the Pussy Willow.
Yeah. And get pregnant.
Yikes. Okay, Dingus Day. We'll talk more about Dingus Day before the next on the next show. All right. So this was a theme game, and again, Deandra, she failed this one. But listen, we were on for over an hour. She was running late because she had a late meeting that ran over, so she was like super tired, and she was like just done with it. So, but I wanted to see like, did I just make this too hard? So I wanted to see if you can actually pass the test here. So this is a game where you need to tell me, because last week was St. Patrick's Day, day after St. Patrick's Day when we did the show. I'm looking for 3 teams on the left-hand side that have green in their logo. And then on the right-hand side is teams that from the past. So one of them is a current team. Their original logo has green in it. The other 2 are teams that have moved to different cities and they've changed their name and logo, but the original logo has green in it. So
So
start thinking about green logos and start spitting them out.
the Wild,
The Wild is number 1 on
the Stars.
the Stars. Okay, so it wasn't too hard.
So they're on both, right? Weren't the North Stars? Didn't they have green in their
I
logo
didn't count
too?
them 'cause we got Dallas, and I did not count any
San
San
Jose,
Jose.
'cause that's teal.
Technically, is teal.
Okay.
The last one on the left is hard because it is a current team, and it's not. You don't think green when you think of this team. It just happens to show up in their logo, and they're very.
Don't
random.
anybody tell me. Don't anybody tell me.
I don't think they're gonna know this one.
Vancouver? No.
Nope.
Did Vancouver have? No.
Current logo.
Let's see. Current logo. So Mighty Ducks, no.
You want a hint?
Sharks, sure.
They've been around for a long time.
Thanks. Original 6.
Some would say originally part of the 6 teams.
So Blackhawks. Blackhawks don't have orange. I mean, have green. Rangers don't have green.
Hold
Montreal
on,
don't have
hold
green.
on. You got it.
Oh, the Blackhawks. Oh, and their feather. Oh, okay.
The green and the feather. So that was a tough one. So two easy ones, one not so obvious. All right, now go to the other side. Remember, one is the original logo of a current franchise, and then two that have moved and relocated to different cities, and then they changed their logo.
Nordiques.
No, green is the color we're looking for.
But the teams are no longer around, right? For two of them?
Well, they moved. Technically,
They
the team
moved.
is there in spirit.
They changed their names, though?
Yes. One of the teams still wears this color and logo, though, which is weird because it's a totally different city.
And it's not the Stars, so it wasn't the North Stars.
Nope. Technically, they would fall under that list, though, but we got Dallas on there.
Let me think of...
Classic logo. Classic. One of my favorites. So much so that I have a shirt with this logo on it.
Caps?
Green is the color we're talking about.
I know, but you were a Caps fan, so I'm like, who would you have that was a Caps fan?
I would not wear the team that this is currently called, but I will rep their old school team.
What teams have moved? The Quebec Nordiques.
I played with them in NHL 94 on Sega Genesis.
Oh, let me think.
One team moved recently. One team moved a while ago. One team still exists.
Arizona?
Ding! Coyotes, green pants. A lot of people forget about that. Wile E. Coyotes, green pants. So, yeah, there was some green. They still say Arizona's got a chance to come back and bring back the Coyotes. All right, next think Northwest, and then the other one think Northeast.
And they both have no. One of them's still the same team, right?
Correct.
And it can't be Seattle, because that's going to be. Well, is that green?
Nope.
Who moved for the Northeast?
I gotta make these games easier.
Yeah.
I thought I was working with true professionals here. Up. We just played one of them. They do still wear this logo. It's a throwback. One of the worst original logos there is, though.
We just played them?
Yep. Say it.
Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the original.
Which shirt do you wear? Which shirt are you wearing?
That's the one you haven't guessed.
Oh, gosh. And it's a team no longer around.
It's like one of my favorite franchise names and logos. Clean, original. Unfortunately, plays in a city that we don't like anymore. I mean, I like the city, but I don't like the team. East
They have a
Coast.
team now.
Got a good team now. Very
Boston?
good.
No, Pittsburgh? No.
The
Boston?
top teams in the East.
Buffalo. Carolina.
The Whale.
Whalers, Hartford Whalers. I should have known that. I have seen that shirt too.
What a simple yet awesome logo this is. You notice the whale, the W, and then if you
H in the
invert
middle.
the white is H.
Yeah.
And Carolina milks this baby all they can. If you go to their stadium, you see a whole wall of Whalers merchandise. I think that's the coolest thing about the Carolina Hurricanes. Yes, and she had it. She knew what it was the whole time.
I know.
So, all right. Well, sorry, Deandra. I made the game a little too
I
hard.
could not get Quebec out of my head. For some reason, I just get them and the North Stars just kept going in my head as being two defunct teams.
What's Brass Bonanza?
I don't know. Explain yourself, Michelle.
I don't know what that means.
Brass
Okay,
Bonanza.
so April 1st, next Wednesday, we'll be back. Hopefully
So,
celebrating some
which
wins.
ones did Deandra get on that?
She was, I think she was not into it. I think she got the Wild, and then the rest were a struggle. But again, this is like the end of the show. It was not her fault. It was we both had long days, and the game was a little harder than I thought.
Dallas was my instant one, but then I knew Minnesota. Obviously, we just played them, but I like Minnesota's logo. It was their goal song. Oh,
Yeah, I never really got to see the Whalers play because what year did they move? Let's see. It had to have been late 90s, right? When they moved to Carolina.
had to be 'cause
97.
they won the Stanley Cup.
That's why I said Sega Genesis NHL 94 because I was playing that game when I was a kid and they had the Whalers on it. So yeah, May
Now the
6th,
California Golden Seals.
1997. The Hartford Civic Center. That name rings a bell. And there you go. Yeah, Brass Bonanza theme song. Often celebrated by Hurricanes.
Boomer just signed on. By the way, I don't know if you saw. If you don't follow Bolts Breakdown, do it. He's got a trivia question every day. He's got a great newsletter you can sign up for. He tweets 9,000 times a day. I don't think
Never
I have
speculates, though. He does not speculate like we do on this
I
show.
don't think I have anybody that I follow that I have all their tweets shown to me that tweets more than he does. And he will talk to every Bolts fan, non-Bolts fan today who is making fun of Biz. So follow him. But Boomer, we were talking about Shooter's going to be out a lot, especially during the playoffs. So I want to see if you can fill in for some of the shows for Shooter, especially now that everybody hates him since he wants to speculate about Hedman.
The Penguin AZ 43 to 52. I'm curious if that's a Penguins fan in Arizona. I hate that AZ has no hockey team. I'm with you. I think they need one back. Does Arizona get their hockey team back in the next 5 years, or do you think that ship sailed?
5 years? No, it's going to be Atlanta and either Atlanta and Houston or Atlanta and Quebec. You know, Atlanta will be they've already said it will definitely be two. They will not do these 1-1s anymore. So it'll definitely be two teams.
But then
And
do you change the playoffs though? Like you're getting a lot of teams at this point.
well, and now you're also extending the season. So Atlanta, you can't get too big, but I think you have to grow whether you're moving a team or expansion. But I don't see any teams right now in financial difficulties. Everybody seems to be having $1 billion teams right now. So Atlanta is almost a give me to have, and then the second city has been rumored to be Houston or Quebec.
Yeah, well, until Arizona figures out the whole arena thing.
Maybe the Panthers because I hate them. Trust, you could get a good case 5, 6 years ago about moving the Panthers, and maybe after they get eliminated this year and they don't do so good next year, you might see the old Panthers of old. By the way, Vancouver right now is the only team that's been eliminated from the playoffs, but Toronto and Florida Panthers are very close from mathematically being eliminated at the playoffs. So is Seattle.
We will celebrate. We will go live as soon as that happens and celebrate that.
We were talking earlier today. Detroit has taken a dive down the standings and moved themselves out of a playoff spot right now. And they were ones that were kind of, I thought, would be scary this season.
Well, they did it again. I mean, they lasted longer this season, but they seem to be like one of those teams that plays well during the regular season and then things fall apart when it matters. And
Oh, there you go. Rangers were just officially eliminated. There you go.
yep, saw that one coming. They probably should have traded some more players, especially
Yeah.
since they put out that letter that they're going to be trading players, and then only made a couple moves. But yeah, there it is. I don't know if this is updated with the games that just happened, but it is 72 games played for Buffalo now, just 3 points ahead of us because they did get the overtime point for making it to overtime. So we've got the space to catch them. Montreal, who got that head-to-head, which will be a big game because that's a 4-point swing for whoever wins that game. 88 points. So we've got 5 on them. They're also only sitting at 70 games. And then
So Buffalo can max out 116, Tampa 117, Montreal 112, Carolina 118. So Carolina's got the whole Eastern in their hands. Pittsburgh 107, Columbus 109, Boston 108, Detroit 106, Islanders 105, Ottawa 107, Panthers 97 was the max they can max out. So right now you have Buffalo, Tampa, Carolina, Montreal, Columbus, Boston, Pittsburgh, and Ottawa all fighting for that. Detroit, the max they can do is 106. And the Islanders have been also sinking themselves. They lost a couple. They haven't been doing great.
yeah, but you know what I don't like about that is they're the last team to potentially get in here is that is a nightmare matchup for the Bolts. We
Ottawa.
did not play the Islanders well this season. I was at the game in New York where we lost. Sorokins just killed us, and then they won 2 here.
Yeah.
Against us.
Yep.
So I don't want that matchup. Give me Boston. Give me Ottawa. This is going to change. You know what's pretty interesting about this, though? We talked about this in past seasons. That goal differential is always the tell of who the good teams are. Because if we went back a couple weeks ago, you're going to see some of these teams that are up in making the playoffs, but that number does not lie. It did for Washington this year with the +9. But like the teams that are in or going to make the playoffs are all well above that plus-minus differential. And guess who's number 1 in the East on that list? 62, +62, the Bolts. Let's go Western Conference. The West is just a freaking shit show, Schooley. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on over there, but you can make the playoffs by barely winning any games at this point.
Yeah.
You're in the Pacific. And look at that. There's that differential. The number 1 team, the Ducks. And I was expecting the Ducks to have a good season this year. Still, are they good? They're -5 in that plus.
Ducks over Edmonton and Vegas. Nobody had that on their bingo card.
Look at the points. 79. 79 puts you not even close to the playoffs in the East. It's a little not fair. It's a cakewalk for Colorado and Dallas. I put Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota's got what it takes to get to a final, though. You think Quinn Hughes is going to put them over the edge?
No.
It's Dallas. It's Colorado. I still won't count out Edmonton. They're going to have Draisaitl back. The playoff experience really matters. We know that as Bolts fans, so don't count Edmonton out.
I don't. Well, does it though? I mean, we've had playoff experience and been eliminated. We've been eliminated first round for how many years in a row, and look how much playoff experience we've had.
Good point. um, but yeah, I mean, these teams are just committing robbery. Nashville might make the playoffs with 77 points. The Kings, who should have been better this year, hanging on. And I mean, look at that, plus minus 27 for the year, and you're gonna maybe make the playoffs. Utah, good for them. Plus 22. I mean, they're right up there with these top three as far as that plus minus differential. But oh, there it is. Vancouver's got the E. Minus 80. Man, we gotta really cherish some of the moments that we've had this last 10 plus years where we are not down here and we haven't even really been close. We're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, to think, and this is why when people say about Kuch with against McKinnon and McJesus, look at the teams they play in the West compared to the teams
Easy.
the Lightning play in the East. I mean, the goal differentials, the points, just and for Edmonton not to be in the top of theirs. I mean, Colorado's winning, running away with that, but they should be. I mean, you put Tampa in that conference, and Kuch could have 200 by the end of the season. I mean, give him a whole bunch of games against someone like Nashville, somebody like Winnipeg, someone against Vancouver, someone like, there. You give him those 3, 4, 5 games against those division people, and he would tear that up.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And we will do a full breakdown. I might just do my own video because I think I did one last year on the difference of how we do the playoffs today, which is stupid, with the stupid wild card, versus 1 through 8, which is how it should be.
And you heard that in the meetings, they came out and Bedman was 100% against that playoff scenario.
Well, it's at some point they're going to have teams that are wanting it changed and players wanting it changed because you're going to see some unfairness, and you're going to see it this year with the whole East versus West thing. But
Well, we've heard of the players. I mean, the players even when almost all the time, and Michelle can verify, at these block party tapings, the players are asked about this, and the players want the 1 through 8 seeding. They do not want this kind of, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the next CBA.
yeah, maybe we'll see. But I mean, it's interesting to kind of look at, and I will do the full video once we get to the end of the season to show how much of a difference it is, because it really was a difference last year. Like, it would have been a whole different playoffs because we don't play
Well,
in the first round.
Edmonds' reasoning was the hockey is the only sport that has great matchups every single round, where the other teams do the 1 through the 8 and all that stuff, where you have great seedings every single round, even your first round. But I think 1 through 8, you would still have some great games.
Well, the problem is you're putting, like, Tampa last year in Florida in the first round. Whoever loses that matchup, which was us, gets screwed because we were better than a first round exit last year. The Panthers, I mean, at the end of the day, they were better than us last year. They beat us. But think about a Eastern Conference Finals with Florida and Tampa, which the current format could happen, but really hard to happen. Like, the odds are against it. So I don't know. We would play Columbus right now if it was 1 through 8. And what's the difference? Who do we play in the current format? It would be Montreal.
Yep.
But the other problem is, and we did kind of see it last year, because didn't Carolina get spanked in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yep.
So we're forfeiting really good matchups later in the playoffs to have really good teams potentially square off and knock each other out in the first round.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, but obviously we'll be looking at that a lot over the next couple weeks here. Keep our eyes on the stats, see where Kuch is at, and if he can maintain his pace of just, casually scoring 3 points a game. But yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Only a couple weeks left until we're at the playoffs. Don't forget, when the playoffs come along, we switch to playoff mode, which means we are live after every playoff game. I say we, but it might be Thomas Schooley and somebody else, because I'm gonna do what I did in the past. That's worked really well for the Lightning. When I leave the country, the Lightning are undefeated in the playoffs, and that's the sacrifice I make, Thomas Schooley. So speculate about that. All right. Are we done? Are we done here?
Yes, we're done.
Okay. All right. We will be back next Wednesday night. I don't have a guest currently, but we'll let you know on Twitter if we do have a guest for next Wednesday night, probably around 8, 9 o'clock. Follow us to find out when. Until then, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?
That's it.
Shooter and Schooley bringing the fire. Tampa Bay squad taking it higher. Strikes on the ice, lightning so bold. Hedman, Kuch point, the story unfolds. We the Thunder, feel a roar. Tampa's team,